Hi everyone, this is Wendy again. Part 4 of War of the Minds. It's just a short blog about, and it's actually shouldn't be smiling, it's quite serious. This is super serious. But I'm taking a light-hearted approach to it, I guess, because we have to, you have to sometimes go, oh my goodness, I'm sick of that heavy stuff, and we've come through so much heavy stuff. But the War of the Minds is now, and this fourth one is about you taking control of your thought patterns and going heart deep into your soul and living a life that is heart and soul filled with thoughts and reactions. So your reactions are positive and thoughtful. So, and part one, we talked about the influences of that made us or make us have this negative warring mind, and it's a protection mechanism that we've kind of created for ourselves. In part two, it talks about real short. These short snips are about the where our minds ourselves connects to the outside, but also to our internal, how it has an effect on our futures and our well-being and that. And this third one was about values, setting your values, so that when you are coming up against the enemy, the negative warring fraction of either inside us, but mostly external, how you set that bar, and that's the way in which you know that you can. It's kind of like setting your battle plan. Your values are setting your battle plan. So this one, number 4, is about living heart deep and with your soul. And so, but we were talking pragmatically about different situations in your life. Okay, so let's do a work situation one, bullying, for example, or even bullying in your community or family. When you've set your values and you've come across someone who is uh, bullying you in a situation, there are 3 things that I teach. There's actually a course on my website that talks about how to manage bullying, and there are 3 strategies that I talk about and help you work through how to do that. One is about having your boundaries and having your values, and when someone is at you and talking to you, it's going, hang on a minute, but this is what we've agreed. These are my values, these are my boundaries. And so you're just calmly coming back to them and pushing back at them. The second, of course, is about using the protection structures that are supposed to be there for you around your management, your leadership team. Sometimes that level has bullying as well, and they are not going to help you. I can tell you that now. And the third strategy is finding somewhere else to be. So anyway, so back to the war of the mind. So there's negative people in your workplace, bullying, etc. You have to have your boundaries, your values that sets you apart and puts up that wall of protection around that, around your castle. So remember, we talk about values actually, and the war of the minds, and the foundations of your castle are your values, and they will help strengthen the walls and the boundaries of your goodness, your positivity, and your love and light. Okay, so let's say it's a toxic situation, a family member, right? Um, Again, you can. In my personal experience, this is the thing. These are the things I've done. Is that I've noticed. First thing is you've got to notice that someone is toxic and the effect that they have on you. So when you're with people, and this is hard because they're people that you love or people that you've known all your life, and if they come across, just for some reason they start changing and becoming more and more negative and toxic, and you just thought, or you go, wow, those comments that you're making in that way about whatever actually isn't having an effect on me. You're actually making me more negative, feel negative, pulling me down, sucking the energy out of me. or making me feel uncomfortable. So when you have those types of feelings in any of the situations in life around someone, you'll know they're toxic and they're negative and they're no good for you, because they are pulling your goodness and pulling your power out from your energy. So I call it as it is. I say that you're just too negative. I've told of, in my situation, a close family member said, you're negative. You're too negative. You're not suck the energy out of me. Got to change. Sometimes people don't realise they've become negative, and when you call it out, they go, "Oh, I didn't realise I was like that." So that's one approach you can use, because sticking with your values and what's important to you, eh? The second thing that you can do is reduce the amount of time you spend with that person or those people or that situation. It could be your mates that you meet after work for a drink, or it could be someone, a social group you're meeting on a Saturday in the mall, your schoolmates or whatever. It's if you leave that person or you're with those people and you think, man, I was feeling good before I got here, now I feel real stink. It's because they're not good for you, for your energy. Your energy is at a higher vibration and more positive than they are. And so you can choose to stay with them and suck your own energy and lose your energy, or you can choose to go, I think I'm going to try and move away from this and find different people to be with, or a different person, someone who's positive like me. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's about a war of the minds, sticking up for yourself and strengthening your castle. And then the third thing is just completely changing the group of people that you hang out with, the person. So some of this is, when you've done the work in a relationship, and this is really hard, a marriage, for example, when you've tried really hard and you've been together a long time and you've said, you're just too negative, the situation that we've gone through, you can't seem to rise out of the negative stuff, and it's hard work, you're really hard work to be around. If you've tried to help them realize their negativity and it's not working, and they're still toxic, or they're a narcissist, they're just, then maybe it's time that you found a different place to be. You've got to look after yourself. If you are working on yourself, you're working on your trauma, you're releasing the negative stuff and filling your life with light and love and positivity, and you're winning your war against your negativity and your own self, your war of the minds. You're winning your war. If you're around people who are not and can't, and you're helping them and it's not working, then there's a decision you have to make. Do you stay in that battlefield fighting the fight, or do you walk out of that battlefield and go somewhere else? So it's a tricky one. This is, not easy. People will criticize this post and say, "Oh, you're just encouraging people to leave their relationships, blah blah." But you know what? You can only help people for so long. You can only say with love and kindness, "Gee, I know we went through that shit thing that happened, but you're quite negative. It's really draining. Let's try and change it." And so I have worked with different people about changing their thought patterns. I do that through my coaching as well as healing stuff, and so you could try that. And if it doesn't work, that's your just call on how to change the dynamic. So anyway, this is about a war of the minds. This is about conquering your mind, conquering, and as we do that as individuals, we do it together collectively and helping others, then we're going to win the war, aren't we? We're going to win the war of that is heart deep and soul deep. So, blessings to you. It's a great adventure. You never know what you'll come across as you step out of your doorway. Sorry, another pun. All right, take care, everyone.